Hello again, welcome to a new week. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you. You're the real MVP. But if you're new to my channel, hello, my name is Grace, but you can call me Gracie, and I am on a journey to grow 22 inches of hair. Yes, you heard right, girl. I want them inches. So I will be using different products and techniques that I will hopefully be able to incorporate into my usual hair care routine so that I can reach that goal sooner rather than later. So if that's something you're interested in, then please do consider subscribing and of course hitting that notification bell so you know every time I upload. And while you're there, why not follow me on my other social media accounts, which should appear somewhere around me right now. And if at any point during my hair growth journey you do decide to use one of the products or techniques that I'm using, then please go ahead and use this hashtag Gracie Crew Growth Journey so that I know that you are one of us. So with that being said, let's get into this video. Okay, as the title says, trimming your hair, you need a trim. So as always, let's start by defining what it is to get a trim. This is very different from getting a cut. Remember that trimming your hair, if you see me shooing something around, there's a fly that's trying to annoy me, but it won't win. Anyway, so a trim is basically about it's more so like a maintenance tool. So trimming is just taking off a very small amount of hair, cutting off a very small amount of hair so that you're helping to get rid of any dead ends that are not good anymore, to avoid split ends or to get rid of split ends. So that is the I would say the definition of trimming. I would try to put something that you can read in case my definition was not very clear. So how to know if you need a trim? So I would just basically run through some signs that you definitely need to look into getting a trim. I would say if it's your first time, you're not really sure about how to do it, please get a professional to do it, okay? And ensure that they do not cut off inches, okay? As I said, you only need a few centimeters. If it's that you need an actual haircut, then that's something different. But the way you can tell that you need a trim is, number one, your ends are snagging on each other way more than before. Now, of course, we know us having coily or kinky or curly hair, we know that our hair gets tangled easily. But if you notice over time that more and more, especially your ends, not just the whole head of hair, especially your ends are getting more tangled than they were before, then it's probably a sign that your ends are, starting to really dry out and not be good at all. As we probably know by now, the ends of our hair are the longest, they've stayed the longest, so they tend to be the driest, they tend to be the most fragile. Okay, so the second sign is that split ends, as I mentioned in my video where I talked about split ends, and the only way to get rid of them is to cut them off. So one way to observe if you're having split ends, every wash day, if your hair is long enough, look at your ends, each sections you're working through, whichever one that you can pull in front of your eyes, or when you're in front of a mirror, which will actually be easier if your hair is not exactly long enough for you to observe it, where you just pull it in front of you. Look in the mirror, observe your ends, observe how they're looking. Do you notice any split ends? And sometimes it's possible to get split ends just on one section of hair, so that would be a good sign, a good way to catch them before they get even worse. A third sign is that when you're styling your hair, how you will get all the way, the twist, like if you're doing a twist out, a braid out, you know, this part of your hair will be looking all nice and neat, and then when you get to your ends, they're not cooperating, they're not smoothing if you need them to smooth out. Maybe when you try to straighten your hair, they're still curling up. That's a sign that you need to let them go. So of course, getting a trim, as I said, if you do not know how to do it yourself, it's pretty easy, but in case you do not know, then please get a professional to do it. And I would say when you are looking out for a professional to help you get a trim, don't just look at their pictures, because I've realized a lot of people can lie using pictures, but ask for like a consultation, like a sit down. Ask them, can I sit down with you before actually having my hair trimmed? Let them sit down with you, you know, you discuss with them. You can tell, you know, someone knows their stuff if you're able to ask them questions and they can give you answers, or they can tell you, okay, hey, I will go and research, I will get back to you, you know, just to make sure that everything is in check. But otherwise, as I said in my previous video, I also, you know, want to get my hair professionally, you know, blown out and straightened, and I want to see, you know, have I fixed the split ends I was seeing. So please stay tuned for that. Hopefully before the year ends, I'll be able to do that. But yeah, that's what I would say about getting a trim. So make sure that if you need a trim, don't hold on to say, okay, I'll do it next month, okay, I'll do it after 3 months. No, it's not about doing it after every 3 months. You need to be, you know, for some of you, you need it right now. For other people, they do it once a year. Other people, you know, 3 times a year. It all depends on how your hair is doing. That's what you should pay attention to. If your hair is showing you that I need a trim, get one, okay? And yeah, just caution, you don't need a trim all the time. Pay attention to your ends, pay attention to what your hair is telling you, and that should be your guide. So that is all for this week's hair growth tip of the week. I will see you next week. Bye.